Welcome to my Dragon Eye tutorial. So I grabbed this bag of glass-eyed marbles from the $2 shop. Make sure that they're flat backed. So a couple of different shapes. Just choose the shape that you like the best. So what else you're going to need today? Some texturing tools and a blade. I've used a pin or a nail for some thin lines. Your Sculpey, I've got here the deep red pearl that I'm using, and you'll also need a little bit of black. Some acrylic paint, I'm going to use the yellow because it goes nicely with the red Sculpey colour. Some metallic powders, here I've got a yellow. You don't need to use two, but I'm using the yellow, and the blue will be around the outside edge. And your roller. So let's get started. Shape your clay. You want it just bigger than your marble will be. Now I pop all my little work on a piece of plastic so that I can turn it around. Makes it easier to spin. So place your marble where you want it, press down to make an indentation. Move the marble. So you're going to start with some thicker lines from what would be the pupil. So if you need to, you can actually mark the pupil in the center and then draw the lines outwards from there. Taking just a little bit of your acrylic paint on your finger. You're going to rub that into your clay, getting it into the lines. Then grab a cloth and just dab that off. You don't want to wipe it off completely, but you're just taking off the excess of paint. It gives you a depth of colour underneath the red, or over the top of the red. Taking one of your thin tools, working from the centre outwards, you want to put in a heap of lines. So these are the lines that go from the pupil outwards, creating the effect. So you get something that looks a bit like this. So grab some of our powders. Now most eyes are lighter in the middle, so if you start with a light colour in the centre and work it outwards. So rubbing in the powders. On this one I'm just doing a different effect on the outside, so I'm going to grab a different colour. And put a bit of blue just on the outside, creating even more depth. So you can do what you like with the eye at this stage. Add patterns, you can grate some loose polymer clay over the top and push that in, just to create those flecks and depth that you see in the eye. So there we go. Check that you've got all the bits underneath the eye covered. Now for the pupil. Take our piece of black, you don't need much. You want to cut just a thin slice. Now this will be compressed later, so you don't want to make it too thick now, because when you push down on it, it will spread out even more. So just a nice shaped wedge, so thicker in the middle, thin on the points. Now try and emulate the same over the centre of your coloured clay. Remove that portion can pop in a piece of black. Now you will need to push the edges together, just gently pushing the clay together until you seal the gap between the colour and the pupil. And there we have him. So pop our glass eye on. Now you need to get really good contact between the clay and the bottom of the eye. So once you've got him on, how you like him, you need to press down and you'll see the colours, the air escape and the colours come through. And there he is. Cut around the outside edge. And he's ready to use in the rest of your work. And here's an example of what I used him in.